Hey guys, hello and welcome. I'm talking about the top commodity of the day today. I'm Manisha Gupta and it clearly is wheat, where we have seen a lot of news buzzing on a daily basis. Remember, wheat started coming into limelight after Russia invaded Ukraine, and because much of the wheat actually comes in from Russia, which is the second largest producer of wheat, we have seen the wheat prices continue to run up. It has been trading at a decade highs in the international markets, and the Indian prices also have seen constant gains come in here. So much so that the last 1 month has seen nearly 14% of gains come in for the wheat prices. But the prices could really continue higher because until now, the world was depending on wheat. A couple of million tons or even more coming in from India is something that the international markets were looking at with a lot of enthusiasm. But that doesn't really seem to be the case right now, because when you look at the Indian markets itself, well, Indian wheat is the output is looking at slightly on the weaker side. After 5 years of record back-to-back wheat production, this year is expected to actually slip down. Last year was nearly 109.75 million tons. This year, the expectation for wheat production was 111 million tons plus. But with the kind of heat wave that we saw in the month of March and then in April, the expectation is that we are looking at nearly 6 to 12% of a decline in the wheat crop this time around. So the current estimates are for 105 million tons, but it could be lower than that as well. The real pessimist of output estimates actually come down to as low as 98 million tons as well. So that will be really a step down from 109 million tons that we saw in the previous year. But that's exactly what the heat wave has done. It has impacted a lot of crops, and the month of March has been the hottest in last 122 years, and that has impacted the yield and is the reason you are looking at a lower production. And even as the last year exports were quite strong, we did see exports at around 7.85 million tons, which was a record number and which was nearly 275% higher on an year-on-year basis. The markets were anticipating this year the exports to hit a high of 12 million tons, which now does not seem very possible or plausible. The reason being that the heat wave has impacted the yield and the output. That also tells you that the prices have been trading very firm for the wheat prices, so much so that they have been trading above MSP, and the government has not been able to procure enough wheat. When you look at the procurement numbers, last year until time was 43 million tons. This time around 43 million tons. This time around is around 16. So that is nearly 42% of a decline when you look at the government procurement as well. So the government procurement is on the lower side. The availability is going to be on the weaker side. Exports may not be as strong, and the markets also are looking at the fact that the prices will continue to be on the higher side. A latest Niti Aayog report also suggests that we are looking at the Food Corporation of India allocations also to be on the weaker side. The couple of schemes that the government runs in sense of PDS and PMGKAY could be looking at lower wheat allocation and a higher rice allocation in that sense. So the net quantity that was allocated between May and September earlier was at around 9 million tons, now has been cut down to around 3.5 million tons, which is nearly 60% lower than what was allocated earlier. So clearly the heat wave has impacted every way, every chain, every level when you look at the wheat markets there. As far as the prices go, well, if the government is not able to procure now, and now is the time that the arrivals are coming into the market, 3 months, 4 months down the line, when there is a wheat requirement, if we have exported too much, if the government has not been able to procure too much, that tells you that the wheat prices will actually then run up even more. So the expectation is that by the third quarter, fourth quarter of this year, calendar year, you could be looking at even higher wheat prices, is at least what the markets are working with the maths that we have in hand.